It's been a while since we've done one of these, which I'm very much looking forward to on the Hit and the Turnbuckle podcast. We're going to recap sort of everything that's been happening in AEW. And of course, that means a couple of things. It's either two people or three people that we normally have on, and it's one of those three. And I'm delighted to say, all the way from the States, it's my good old friend, Mr. Gary Joe. How are you doing, my man?
I am doing good, dude. When you messaged me to do this, I'm like, heck yes, man. It's been like, I want to say almost 2 months. It's been a while.
Before
But
Forbidden Door, before Forbidden Door was the last time we got you.
life's been busy and I get it. So,
It has been. It's been wild. It has been wild. It's been wild in wrestling as well, hasn't it? With everything, there's so much stuff that's been happening. So, look, we're not going to just talk about what we're doing. We'll talk about that at the end, of course. But let's just get straight in. And the first thing I want to talk about was a picture that I saw this week, and it was a lovely picture. It was our resident bruv and his rehabilitation seemingly going well. I was actually just down the road doing that to me over in Raynham there. It was a good picture to see, and it's nice to see Will looking like he's healthy on that road to recovery. And they done a little sneaky bit. They put January 2026 at the bottom of that picture. Are we going to see Bruv that early from that injury?
so my birthday is January 27th. That would be a cool birthday gift, but it's not that important. Um, I think Will needs to take long as he wants. I mean, if he shows up like next year, right around All In, which I expect him to win the world title in front of his home crowd, what an amazing story that would be for Will. So I just think January of next year is way too soon. This is a neck surgery, man. I get it. The guy is probably made of platinum steel, but at the same time, let's uh let's slow it down. And I don't know if that was Will's idea of thinking January. I prefer something a lot later than that. I do like look at Kurt Angle, for example. Best example I can give. The guy has been through many neck surgeries, and all it took was one move. And you know, I just don't want to see Will in the same boat. I mean, he's still very young,
Yeah.
so I can't control that crazy SOB much as I love the guy. But yeah, that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, as soon as he's healthy and ready, that don't rush it. Take your time because the worst thing you can do is rush it, and then you come back, it happens again, and you're in the same situation that you were, but maybe longer, or maybe not at all, right? I was just talking to you before we went on air. We had a very similar injury. Funnily enough, at his mum's promotion last week, we had someone get dropped on their neck. He's fine, absolutely fine, but it's one of those things that happen. But on the sort of flip side, we go from someone making a recovery to injury, from someone who suffered an injury. And I feel like she is cursed. Penelope Ford, again, injured out of women's blood and guts, which we'll talk about in a minute. But of all, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't want anyone to get injured in any wrestling. It's bad. But she just seems to have the worst luck when it comes to injuries, Penelope Ford.
Yeah, unfortunately, the trend of injuries with Penelope continues, and this one is very unfortunate. For what I understand, I'm not a doctor, but I love sports, so I kind of know some of this insight what this injury is, right? Well,
Hmm.
unfortunately, it looks like this could be a Tommy John injury, which could put you out for like 12 to 18 months. It could be quite a
Jeez.
while. Um, I hope I'm wrong on that because, man, Penelope, she was doing great with this tag run with Megan. And you're right, man. I get it, injuries happen. So hopefully it's not like a severe case of like, surgeries and everything to make that elbow get better. But yeah, just very unfortunate. So I hope she heals quickly. But yeah,
Let's hope Dr. Gary Joe's prognosis isn't as long as we hope, but
I'm not.
nevertheless,
Hope I'm. I hope I'm wrong, but yeah.
let's hope not. And well, obviously, look, we wish Penelope the best and a healthy recovery
Mhm.
along the way. Before we get into the action this week, and there was a hell of a lot as always on Dynamite. There is one. kind of departure, not confirmed, but looking that way that we need to wait. It's an important one, and it is a big one. It's a big one in a lot of ways, and that's Chris Jericho. Now, from what everyone and from not necessarily the dirt sheets, but it's been doing the rounds, and there's a lot of things that make sense. It looks like Chris Jericho's time of AEW has come to an end, and potentially it's looking like he is going back to the WWE, maybe for his last run there. But look, we all wanted, we all sat and was like, Chris Jericho needs to go away when he was doing a lot of the stuff, right? And he did. It was we've had a nice break off of it anyway. But I feel as if like the one thing that we need to put into perspective is the impact and the importance of the fact that when Jericho did sign for AEW way back 6, 7 years ago. It was a massive signing, and Tony Khan even said it himself. He was like, he was looking at that fan base from WCW that stopped watching it when WWE brought it out, and they was like. When he was rolling through, obviously you had the names, you had the Omegas, you had the Jacksons, and Cody was there and everything else. But he was like, I wanted a name that from somebody that stopped watching it back then would then watch it because he's there, and it was that, and that was the man. Chris Jericho was the man to do that. So I feel as if it is goodbye, it's obviously a big thank you. You put a lot of work in for the 6, 7 years, but I feel it's important that we have to talk about the impact that Jericho's had at the start and throughout, rather than kind of pushing him out the door here.
Yeah, I mean Jericho. This is why I don't have an issue with the guy, because he is very well respected for sure, and I'm sure he is well respected in that locker room as well. Like, he's put over people like Action Andretti, where that was a shocker dynamite. I can't believe it, but Jericho helped them out. And, creating a faction, a couple factions for that matter, to give some exposure to maybe what Mike Santana is today as TNA World Champion. Maybe he will not be in a position if he wasn't. It's because of Chris Jericho. Putting him in a good spot, and you know, this is one thing that I really wish wrestling fans can think about is, what, don't be bitter because they want to go back to, a company that gave him a chance, back in, what was it, 1999? A long time.
99, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
you know, like Jericho deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Jericho deserves to get, good things handed to him. And I'm going to be very happy for Jericho. When I saw the picture with him with Kevin Owens, instant thought was like, man, remember that? Remember those good fun times with him and Owens? And I'd love to see it because Owens is not young either,
No.
and they just they're gonna have a great time. The only thing that I'm hoping WWE steers away from with Jericho, don't depend on nostalgia moments.
Yeah.
Sadly, I think that's gonna be the case. And I think that's why I like the balance between when you see the legends like Jericho in AEW, you get to really bring something different and exciting. But at the same time, Jericho has always created something fun and exciting for everybody to love. You know, like the what is it, the Lexicon Champion or whatever that was. Jericho doing that to Jericho's best heel run in 2008 in WWE, probably one of my favorite heel runs in WWE history at that time. No matter what, I'm always going to be a Jericho-holic, or I'm just going to be my inner circle with Jericho. So it's going to be fun for him, and I hope. Now, I mean, I saw Saturday Night Main Event's going to be in Montreal. I think in December. That's
January.
where I see Jericho make his return. Depending how long his contract goes for, I think I've been reading January. I've been reading December, so it would make sense for December. Um, I just hope they don't do it at the Royal Rumble because a lot of fans are going to miss out on that. So that's just me being nitpicky.
Good
Just
point. That is a good point. Yeah, because obviously the Rumble's over in Blood Country. Sorry, Saudi Arabia. Next year. Yeah, an interesting point there. Maybe Montreal makes more sense at the Saturday night's main event. But yeah, look, if it is the end, then look, obviously Jericho put. Look, who could forget Pineapple Pete, right? That was the
yeah,
Mimosa match with Orange Cassidy as well. Don't get me, and technically you could argue here, Jericho really put Orange Cassidy on that pedestal with that feud that they had. It really did elevate Orange Cassidy, and he had that great run then as champion afterwards, Orange Cassidy, when he was facing wrestler after wrestler every single week. So you got to credit. I mean, that's where Chris Jericho does his best work as well, right?
Absolutely agree. Absolutely. Like, I think Jericho and Orange Cassidy made, some of the pandemic a lot of fun. Like the Mimosa Mayhem match, I'm like, this is gonna be dumb. It was actually fun because
Yeah,
during the pandemic, we're stuck inside and we wanted some form of entertainment, and those two really did it. But yeah, Jericho praises Orange Cassidy a lot to this day. So
yeah.
I love it. And that's why I love Jericho, man.
Yeah, we got to drink it in, man. Maybe one last bit of the bubbly coming up for Jericho. We'll see what happens anyway. Look, it's not confirmed yet, but it's pretty much looking that way. But look, it was Fright Night this week. That was the theme of Dynamite and Collision. By the way, if you haven't seen the Collision main event before we talk about it, go and watch that.
Yeah,
Jeez. Well, we will get into it in a minute. And but look, one of the main things that come out of Dynamite was the full announcement of the teams, at least for the men's side. The women's side come a bit later. We'll talk about that in a minute for Blood and Guts, which is in a couple of weeks, Wednesday week on Dynamite. There's going to be two Blood and Guts matches. Finally, we get the women as well, but we'll talk about that in a minute. The men's side sees the Death Riders, all of them, Mox, Claudio, Pac. Danny Garcia and Wheeler Yuta against kind of like a team of AEW, really, Team AEW. And that consists of, funnily enough, freshly squeezed himself, Orange Cassidy, recently returning, thankfully, to AEW, Roddy Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and of course, Darby Allin. I mean, him and Mox have been killing each other for the last couple of months. One more time ain't going to hurt the boat, is it? But there's been a lot of talk, though, that potentially we could be seeing a new member of Z Death Riders in this match, and that is the Roderick Strong, maybe changing over changing to the other side, so to speak. But this match in a couple of weeks is going to be crazy fun, isn't it?
you know what? This is one thing that I love about Blood and Guts. It's one of the weekly episodes of Dynamite that we highly anticipate. And I will be honest with you, man. I didn't think they were going to do Blood and Guts because of their
No.
formula in these smaller arenas.
Mm.
And I thought maybe Full Gear. I mean, I did predict November, but not
Yeah.
exactly Full Gear, which I think that's where I would have put it. But it is what it is. Um, so it's funny that you bring up Roddy, though. I don't know if he will turn on the collaboration. I think he's just there being funny and be like, oh, what do you want? So Mikey Ruckus, which you guys can see. I'm sure Adam can plug that for hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. That was a good episode.
It was.
For this amazing video package that he created for the collaboration. It just reminds me of like 80 vibes, maybe like in the 90s with your favorite sitcom. It's so well produced. And I think what we're going to see is going to be the end of the feud with John Moxley and Darby Allin. However, there's going to be a twist. I think you're going to see the Death Riders turn on John Moxley.
Oh, okay.
These people are, like Wheeler Yuta, Garcia, all of them are just so bored of John and getting frustrated with John. Like, you know what? You're holding us back. You're losing every single thing that what this group stands for. That's what I could see. And then all of a sudden, John's going to be out for a while. John's going to come back for his redemption, but with I think that's what's going to happen. Because, sometimes you need to close a chapter to that book and then open a new one. So that's where I hope they go with it. But yeah, that match is, I mean, are we going to see another backflip with John Moxley? I believe that took the nail bed to his back. I'm like, oh my God. Ever since then, Tony really has believed in more violence ever since the last Blood and Guts match. So who knows what we're going to see on this one. So
I dread to think, and you got Briscoe in there as well, right? It's going to be crazy. We'll get, as I say, we'll get into the women's one in a minute. But thankfully, thank God, we have the women's tag team championships as well. That's going to be decided. The Sisters of Sin, Sky Blue, Julia Hart, stamp their key to the next round, beating the kind of an unlikely, not saying unlikely team, but Jamie Hayter, Queen Anamata was a team into this. I'm loving this. I do like some of these unusual pairings as well that we're getting. We're not just going to get like the same. It's nice to see a few sort of fresh teams thrown into the mix here. But the Sisters of Sin, you would think will be there. I mean, I know they're in the semis now, but you wouldn't rule them out potentially going all the way and winning this.
See, I love the Sisters of Sin, to be honest. On that side of the bracket, they are my favorite.
Hmm.
Uh, I really, really hope they are in the finals. Maybe I'm being a little based here, but how much I love Sky Blue and Julia Hart. They're so good, so good. Who are they facing though in their next round opponent? By the way,
Oh, that's a good question. I need the brackets. Hold on. Be helpful
I
if I'd done my research, wouldn't it? That's
sometimes I remember these things, but I'm like, okay.
yeah, I forgot that as well, to be honest. Hang on. I'll see if I can find the brackets and then I'll be able to have a look. There must be an image. Hang on. Yeah, I have the image. See, I'm not too bad after all. Sisters of Sin. Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting. They take on either Willow and Harley Cameron or Monet and Athena.
So now that there was certain participants added to a match, I could really see Willow and Harley come out on top. Um,
Really?
I can't see two heel teams determining to go to the finals. I just don't see that. So I think there's going to be more to that story again with either Chris Statlander and Mercedes, or maybe Athena is getting into the head, of Mercedes as well. So I don't know, man. It could really go both ways, and I love the fact that that feels very unpredictable to me. I don't know.
Could be a
That's
bracket buster. That's what we'd call in the NWA a bracket buster when they do the Crockett Cup. If Willow, I would say bracket buster, but they wouldn't be the favourites going in, but they could very well end up. That's good point. Monet's after every belt in living existence, so it's quite possible as well that Athena needs to be careful about that run that she's having as Ring of Honor champion.
I got my prediction on that for sure. I think we're going to see the downward spiral with Mercedes, and she's going to drop almost every title. She doesn't know what to do. She's upset going late into the year of 2026, and I think she's going to build herself up after losing all those titles. And then everybody is like, oh, okay. Now it's okay. Mercedes is, she lost all the titles. And then all of a sudden, she's going to get back into her heelless ways, winning the matches. And don't be surprised if she wins the Owen. I mean,
Ooh.
yeah. I mean, I'm going that bold. So,
Or does she need a hug, so to speak?
I mean, hugs are acceptable because somebody is absolutely a free agent earlier in the year of 2026. I, yep.
Uh, Bailey's all elite. Everyone, maybe. Well, it won't be Bailey, will it? I don't know what it'll be, but
As long as Chris is there,
yeah, I have
well,
seen that picture. Yeah, of her and Statlander. But to be fair, and going off piece, just talking about Bailey, that's someone who I can absolutely see jumping the other way purely from a refresh factor. I mean, like she's. So we're talking about someone that's been there. I was surprised that Drew didn't, if I'm being totally honest, because I thought, again, when you've been at a company, I know Drew was fired and come back and whatever, but when he's like a Bailey who's been there 10 or so years, sometimes it is nice just to pop over and to do that jump over just for a refresh of yourself and just to freshen up some people that you've never faced before as well, right?
perfectly said, dude. Perfectly said. It's like when people were holding this grudge with, the legends like Adam Copeland and oh, why is Sting there? And look what Sting has done. He's put over, like he passed the torch, so to speak, to
Yeah.
Darby Allin and Adam Copeland. He wants to live one final ride, and I really love that. And now people are speculating this, and then all of a sudden people are eating their words. You know where that's going.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, guess what? He's gonna show up as Saturday Night Main Event. Gotta love when me and Sean Ross Sapp likes to call them out. But Aside from that, though, yeah, I mean, I could really see that as well. Like, do I watch WWE again? I only watch highlights, so I know what's going on. Like, why did you drop this tease heel run with Bailey now? And just they have again, they have no direction for Bailey yet again, and I'm like, sometimes you just gotta stick it out, I suppose. It's. I mean, I get it. Both companies are far from perfect.
Mm.
Get on them. Not even gonna praise AEW on that because they're not perfect. But I do love the fact when you said that, these people that are veterans in the game that really would like to do something a lot different. I've always loved Bailey since she was the hugger in NXT. So, and popping the inflatable tube man, which come on now, that's rude. Um, which was a very, very fun heel move on her part. But yeah, I could really absolutely see that, and I think a lot of people can too.
That's the beauty of also having an actual secondary, like an alternate company, right? Because
Yeah,
what we've missed for so long is people kind of having to stagnate because they've got nowhere else to ply their trade. I mean, TNA at this time was way down the pecking order. You know what I mean? They're only they're coming up. They're nowhere near the top two, but they're coming up in the right way. But that they wasn't there really. NWA again, they're really far down the pecking order. So again, it's maybe like a shot to you, like an appearance thing. But to have a secondary company now where, hey, actually, I do fancy this change. I want to see where this can happen. This can take me, and it's nice to have that secondary option in AEW, and vice versa. If you've been in AEW all the time, you've never jumped ship to WWE. There is that option for you to do that as well. It's a good thing. I always think it's a great thing that there's an option.
i.e. Blake Monroe, i.e. Ethan Page.
Yeah, exactly. Ethan Page, Ricky Saints, Ricky Starks, whatever you want to call him. Same thing, right? Jade Cargill, same thing. More on those later, by the way. I haven't finished with those yet, but we'll come back to that.
Oh, that was a fun thing to share
Yeah,
last time. We'll say that.
we, we,
Hmm.
we'll, we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, the other teams in this, TJ, obviously, they're in there. Megan Bain has found herself a new partner, or she got given a new partner herself, Marina Shafir, which that's a very interesting team. They're actually against each other. And then the team of, I always saw these two really kind of wild card teams, and I can't wait to see the dynamics of these. Tony Storm and Mina Shira, I can't pronounce her last name, so I'm going to say Mina. That's going to be hilarious. And then, of course, Riho and Alex Windsor, who's making a name for himself. Two great. I can't wait to see these matches. I know some of them have been done, but we'll talk about. It. But they're going to be great. All of those matches are going to be great, and we'll create some tag team champions. Very, very full gear, I believe. I think that's the final. Am I right? Full gear.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's got to be, isn't it? Anyway, there was a number one contendership match on Dynamite, which main event. It was a four-way. Nice to see Bobby Lashley doing some singles work as well. You sometimes forget because they're in this team. Sometimes when they do these singles, it's nice to see him because you haven't done it in a while. Lashley was there. Ricochet, and they can't get away from each other at the minute, can they? Those two. Hook and Samoa Joe. In the four-way winner got Adam Page at Full Gear. That winner, of course, is Samoan submission machine Samoa Joe. Loved the Adam Page dress up.
Oh, that
That
was
was for
that
those of you
was
that haven't seen it. He dresses up as Tony Schiavone from WCW. He's had it looked brilliant. They've done his voice on the thing, so you thought it was Tony Schiavone, but it wasn't. It was Hangman Page. Comes out, cleans house of the ops. But I think this is the best thing. Samoa Joe, Adam Page 2. The first match was great. Really looking forward to the second one. And it's a nice steady start to Hangman. They haven't sort of like Tony Khan hasn't just gone straight out there with potentially some of the other names he could have done. He's doing it, I think, in a good way, and maybe we're still going to have a nice lengthy reign for Cowboy shit.
one thing that I really like what AEW is doing right now. Well, first and foremost, I would like to touch up on that match, and I do agree. The winner was who it needed to be because you want to continue the feud. Previous AEW days. I'm talking like 2023 days. Okay, well now Samoa Joe is put aside. Now we're going to put in somebody like Hook. What? Like, but no, like again, they're putting that longevity in these stories. This match, by the way, no, it's not going to be a singles match. Don't be surprised if it's a Texas Death Match again. Um, Personally, I hope they don't. I hope they do something a little creative and different. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a singles match this time. Plus, the last couple years, when it comes to Full Gear with Adam Page, it's been violent matches. So there you go. As for when you talk about the dynamics of this run with Adam Page being champion, I really like how they're treating it. The last time when he was world champion, I'm not going to sit here and lie. It was lackluster. You
Mm.
know, he had a really good moment at Full Gear 2021. We were all happy for the Hangman. That hard fought feud that he had with Kenny Omega. Then it just kind of felt like forgettable. And then he drops the title to somebody that I'm like, what? To him? Really? That's maybe why I don't drink Pepsi. But that being said, though, yeah, I mean, I think they're going to give him consistency when it comes to feuds. And I think there's going to be a certain scumbag that is going to take that world title from him. Because I don't think that contract is even, I think it's still a go right now. So maybe World's End. Would that be too soon for a title to be dropped that soon? If the story makes sense, I think MJF really deserves, another world title run, and I think that could really be against Hangman. But that's a whole different predicted story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying this run, dude.
Exactly, me too. I'm enjoying it in a minute. I hope it continues. On Collision, the other side of that bracket that we discussed earlier on, Megan Bain, Marina Shafir kind of made light work of the new team of Miranda Alice and Nixon Newell, who many people know as Tegan Knox in the WWE. But great to see, though, again, some fresh faces in that women's division in AEW.
When you think AEW is going to be down for the count, no pun intended, they're going to just lift themselves back up. When you see somebody like Nixon Noel, and Elise as well, and I'm not trying to take away from her either because she's amazing. And of course, they are a very well known tag team in the indie circuit right now. So when you see that, you're like, what? My page gave so much traction that night from when I posted about Nixon Noel and Elise. So I really love this a lot. And if they're going to be additions for the women's roster, let it be. I mean, people are going to be like, well, come on now. Nixon Noel has two ACL tears. She's washed. Is she? Because look at Chris Statlander.
Yeah, exactly.
There's your comparison right there. Two ACL tears, but Chris is on top of the world right now in that division. So
Exactly.
injuries don't mean shit. It just
No.
depends how you perform, right?
Exactly
So
that. And with that being said, bring on the women's Continental Classic, TK. I know you're treating us over here to the men's when we come over in December.
listen, you're gonna put in that credential, right? When it comes to that scrum, which shout out to these guys for getting approved for that scrum for the Forbidden Door. Very happy for you, Adam, by the way. Didn't need to
Very
tell you
good.
that, although I can say 100 times saying thank you, but man to man on screen, I wanted to tell you that. Um, but yeah, like I would love to see that as well. I think originally Tony wanted to do that this year. I don't think he's going to
No,
because I want to overshadow the tag title for the women. So next year, I could really see it. Would you maybe drop a title though if you're AEW because you don't want to add too much? And I'm not talking about from the women's division.
hmm.
I'm talking about both divisions.
See, I'm looking forward to it when it happens. That's for sure. I think it's long overdue. I'm looking forward to the blood and guts. We'll touch on that in a minute. I just want to get into two dysfunctional tag teams was on Collision this week. The should we say unacclaimed at the minute, Max and Anthony, and Takeshita and Okada, who look that is going to bubble away. Something that is definitely something on the horizon. If it doesn't happen, it will happen soon. Obviously, Takeshita probably going to be the one that's going to be ousted from this. and become a big baby face. A big, when I'm talking about big baby face, because he's he's got everything. But the and at one point on the other flip side of this, we're going to see the unacclaimed become make peace and become the acclaimed again very soon, aren't we?
Now we are. And last night gave us a good example of that. And I'm glad that it wasn't just like a 5 minute match where these two were just like, we're gonna feed you to them because they're currently teasing a feud that's again gotta happen with Okada and Takeshita. But I think one thing that AEW has done so well with is, you know what, patience with these stories. Let's not rush them. Let's see how people react to them. Let's see what the people want. Tony has really grown from that a lot. And I think by day's end, people do miss the acclaim being arrived each and every week. And um, if they form back together, which again, it's really looking like that is the case, and if they ever go for the tag team titles again, that crowd was going to be hot for the acclaim. I there was a couple controversial raps with Caster, but I'm not going to lie, I really miss those raps every week, man.
I, I
I
love them.
really do.
I want to see more of them. I want to see more of those raps. I'll bring them back, Max. We need to see more of those. The heel acclaim though. I did prefer the heel raps then, but
Yeah,
you
those
get
were
away with some, right? With a bit more
yeah.
when you heel. But let's touch on the women's blood and guts next. I've been saying it pretty much the whole show. We've not even hit on it. Right, here we go. So here are the teams for the women's blood and guts. I mean, geez, Marina Shafir, Megan Bain, the Triangle of Madness, and of course the CEO of AEW, Mercedes Moné. They will be going against Harley Cameron, Jamie Hayter, Queen Animata, Willow Nightingale, Tony Storm, and the Women's World Champion Chris Statlander. The only change I would have made, and this is just because I'm British, is I would have substituted either Animata and Harley Cameron for Windsor. That's my only change I would have made. Other than that, though, and do you know what? I've got a feeling these women are going to go out there kind of feeling that they've got a point to prove and want to sort of say to the boys, follow that, chaps, at the end of their match.
It's funny that you say that, dude, because I quite frankly hope this blood and guts match is the main event more than the men, because each and every single 12 of these ladies are in a feud with each other or has been in a feud with each other. Like, yeah, you know what? I'm getting sick of you, Marina. Well, I'm getting sick of you, Willow. Okay, well, that's been going on. Megan Bain, her stuff, with I'm pretty sure with Harley in the beginning of the year was frustrating for Harley itself. And then you have, of course, Chris and Mercedes,
Hmm.
that's a blood feud going on. The Sisters of Sin, along with, of course, Tekla bothering the hell out of Queen Aminata and Jamie, and just every single thing to this match really hypes me up. And kudos to Tony, by the way, because I'm thinking to myself, okay, what is he going to announce? Is he going to just do something where it's just going to be like, uh, why? But again, Tony really makes things make sense this year with his creative writing. I did not expect Mercedes and Chris to be in the match. Quite frankly, I love it. So, what a great recovery, no pun intended, with the unfortunate injury from Penelope to do this. So, some people are complaining about it, but I'm like, but why? And now they're saying, well, now they should help, like, hold off for the blood and guts match. I'm like, no, you got to strike the iron while it's hot, and people have been wanting this, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting too much into my feels for excitement for this match. I'm very happy for Bongo and Emily for cruising with kayfabe. They're going to be there live. Um,
Yeah.
you know, it's going to be a really really good show, but you know what? People are going to determine the show off. They only had 550,000 viewers. Okay, but no, people are just they cracking up lately. Um,
Oh, don't even go there.
but yeah, it's one that I'm just kind of wish it was this week already, but
Oh
uh,
no,
I'm
it's
excited, man.
It's annoying. It's annoying. It's not this week. Is actually I'll be literally on vacation. I'll be literally the day before.
Oh,
My vacation is blood and guts. So I'm going to be. I'll read up on it on the plane. I'll catch the highlights when at some point. But I'm not missing it. I'm going to be watching it. I just want to touch on one other guy quickly before we start to wind down. Ace Austin, obviously new to the AEW roster. What an acquisition! I mean, I've known Ace. He likes his donuts. Does Ace Austin? So if you ever go to an Ace Austin signing, get him some donuts. He'll very much appreciate that. Trust me, he owes me one though. But nevertheless, he's going to bring something. And obviously, look, as a big TNA fan, I was gutted that he left, but I understood there was look, the stuff with Chris Bay happened, and they really didn't have any direction for him as a single, which was disappointing, really. But nevertheless, he's kind of found his home, fitting right. He was Bullet Club, right, when he was in TNA. So he's got himself right at home with Juice and Austin Gunn. This week they did take on Johnny TB and the Eminem Connection. But Ace Austin is, I think, definitely maybe 2026. What I've liked about it actually is that Tony hasn't just gone, here he is. And a bit like Josh Alexander, I know he's joined the Don Callis family, but the two in particular, because from their backgrounds, he has literally said, okay, we're gonna sort of bring you in, but it's not a straight pushing you to the high heavens. It's like, this is who you are. You're going to come in, you're going to introduce yourself, you're going to show us everyone you are. And then perhaps in 2026, I don't know this, we're going to start to elevate you. And I think sometimes that's the best way with talent like this to bring them in, steady in, feet on the ground, and then let's see what they're made of in 6 months or so time.
and that's one thing that AEW does so well. Absolutely, like you got to prove your ground, and I think that's what Tony wants to do. That's been his mentality. If you're not a big name, let's say John Moxley, yeah, well, you're well known, you're established, you're going to get right into this position. But if
Mm.
you're Ace Austin, absolutely, you have to prove your ranks. You have to prove to the crowd that you're not just a wrestler. You want to show that you are a pro wrestler. And I think that's where people need to really remember. That's what makes AEW different compared to like an NXT. People are like, well, nobody doesn't really talk on the mic in AEW, and then they don't do this, they don't do that. And yeah, sometimes I do wish there was a performance center to for them to, get trained to be in the ring again if they're going through an injury or whatever. But they can show that they got this crazy athleticism, why they are a damn good wrestler. And I think Ace could really be that in 2026 as well, to be honest. Um, Wait until we see Jay come back as well. And
Yeah.
wow, that team's going to be electric, because obviously there's history there, with Ace and Jay White as well in Japan. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun ride. And yeah, Ace Austin with his donuts, though. I mean, does he like Krispy Kreme? Because it's one of
Yes,
our
that is
donut
it.
shops.
That is exactly the.
Famous donut shop here, man.
There you go. Anyone that goes to a signing with Ace Austin, or you just see him, Krispy Kreme donuts. Uh,
Over there, Adam?
what's that?
Do you have a Krispy Kreme over there?
We do have a Krispy Kreme. Yes, we
Okay.
get we get 'em. Yeah, that's what he was eating when he was in Cardiff at a show called Slam Masters where I met Ace. Good big shout out to Slam Masters. Good to see you back in 2026 as well. By the way, right now we said that we're gonna be talking about. One other thing. This week on Dynamite, Don Callis has apparently signed off a $1 million six-man tag team match with the Young Bucks. And no, but listen to the names, guys. The Young Bucks and Josh Alexander versus Jurassic Express and Kenny by God Omega. And by God, that is geez, $1 million. You might, well, just those six guys alone in that match. I mean, is going to be incredible. But oh my God, because the Young Bucks become millionaires this week on Dynamite.
I mean, I say they still don't, man. They're going to be more bankrupt than they were last week. You know what? And this is one thing I love about Matthew and Nicholas Jackson is, that they really love to have fun, and they have made this so much fun. And kudos to Don Callis too. Like, I made actually a video about this on my TikTok channel for Honor of the Elite. Don Callis, I think going into 2026 is going to be the best manager, and I think he has been the best manager in wrestling these last 2 years, and it just shows to me. Um, I think there's going to be more to the story, though. I think we're eventually going to see the Bucks turn babyface again, and you notice Kenny is in the match. I think we're going to see a tease with the Elite going to be forming back together here soon. And the Bucks did say in an interview recently that they would love to do something with the Elite again. So when, I don't know. How they're going to do it, I don't know. But let's keep making them bankrupt because I want to see Rod and Todd every single week. Just something about this man is just, it's so damn good.
It it really was. It's been special. Anyway, let's hope they don't become millionaires on Dynamite. But we have to talk about this now. I mean, Collision has had some incredible matches in its very infancy. Um, but this one may arguably be the best match that Collision has ever put on as of today, of our recording. It was Bandido defending the Ring of Honor World Championships against Mascara Carrada. We had a 20-minute, obviously it's Ring of Honor rules, so 20 count on the floor. But my God, if you wanted Gary Joe to sort of give a match, if you had to sort of define AEW in kind of two matches, I would have always said Hangman and Swerve death match will define the violence. This match between Bandido and Mascara defines the wrestling in AEW.
Bandito absolutely is in that category, defining great match quality. No doubt about it. I'm doing something new to the page called HDE's Weekly Rankings. That's based on my assessments for what I see, and that's in fact based on match quality. Bandito, I originally had him number two for maybe the runner-up for the AEW Male Wrestler of the Year. After that match, I can't admit it. Like the guy is number one right now. Just the guy is just so talented, and that match, I want to say, was probably my most favorite Collision match now, and that does surpass that 2 out of 3 falls match with FTR and the Bullet Club, or what is it called? The Bullet Club Gang at that time, I think. I don't know. But yeah, it's just, I don't know what it is, and that's nothing to take away from Dorado. Like, I think he's great as well, but it's just wow. Like, you can talk about your favorite matches, with Bandito this year. You can talk about the match that he had with Hinchicero. You can talk
Mhm.
about the match that he had with, at Takeshka at Super Card of Honor. Um, but my gosh, this guy needs to the guy needs to get everything, and it feels like he is given everything. Like, not only that, I just can't believe the amount of consistency this guy has in the ring because he's in Arena Mexico frequently. He's in AEW Live Television minus Collision. Um, every week as well, he is a tag team champion, which now I see him dropping the title here soon. But either way, I think Bandito right now, as we are talking at him, he is my AEW Wrestler of the Year. We have another month and a little over a month to go for the year, which is crazy. But yes, Bandito is on top of that list for me.
Won't be long. We'll see if he keeps it there in the month and a half that's left of 2025. But yeah, we're going to start wrapping up now. But before you do, you mentioned a lot of stuff that you've got going on over on that incredible channel. And obviously, well, you've been doing a lot of stuff with some bands as well. So why don't you bring us up to speed of what is going on?
Yeah, so there is a huge announcement that I'm very excited for, and I'm going to actually steer that way in a second. First and foremost, I would like to thank everybody that has been sharing their support for Honor the Elite. It's been a great year, one of the very best years that I think, in my opinion, on the page. Yeah, so I'm going to have a weekly top five starting maybe today is when I'm going to start sharing it because it makes sense. Now we're in November. That would be a good discussion piece, I think, for a lot of people. But now I got to get right to it. So I'm very excited to announce that on the launch date for the interview that I had with Jill and Jules Wild will be available on YouTube on December 20th. Now, there is more to it. The exciting thing about working with Jill and Jules, man, is, they want to give an opportunity to me back in return, you know, and I have noticed over and over again, it's not just about, hey, thanks for sharing my stuff, and then we're going to be quiet. No, we do like video chats, twice a week. And it's a really good feeling. Well, the really good feeling is Jill brought to my attention last night that, hey, do you please, I'm hoping that we could speak for a moment. I'm like, sure. So happened to talk to her, and it looks like everything is going to be the possibility of me going to Hamburg, Germany on February 18th with them.
Wow.
Never been across to another country before. This would be all new to me. But knowing that they want me to hit Germany on February 18th is an absolute honor. They want to do something a lot more too. Their record label, Summeran Records, is going to be there, and they really want me to interview some pieces for their magazine. What a shock that was last night. Really means the world to me. These girls are just more than friends. I mean, we were feeling like a trio, like bigger than the Don Callis family people. Um, but no, I really thank Jill and Jules a lot. Um, Germany though, that's crazy cool. This might sound corny, and I'm not afraid to admit it on here. I got very emotional, just because they know how much my dad meant to me.
Mm.
It still does, although he's not here. But they remember that, and they always give me weekly reminders as well. Hey, don't forget your dad did this, and I'm like, you don't even know my dad, but that's cool. um, but it's little things like that, man. I'm very happy to announce that here on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. You and I have grown to friendship for over 2 years as well, man. And if I'm gonna hit that show next year, like at All In, we have to hang out, dude.
I was told, I mean, I know that Cruising with Kayfabe may be also heading down this way. So if that's the case, then it's not even a question. It's just we'll be there. So we're going. So there's no doubt about that. So we'll be there. So hopefully we'll just sort it all out and we'll be there. But that's crazy, great stuff for the channel. I can't announce the name of the person that I'm talking to at the end of the month yet. Contractually, it's a contractual thing. He's was that? It's a
Nothing.
It's a contractual thing. I can't announce, but a soon to be released WWE wrestler will be coming on and joining myself, David Bartholomew, and Will Scott. I have artist friends too, you see, just not touring the globe yet, but I have them as well. But yeah, the wrestler in question, yeah, can't be announced. I basically messaged him today. We've all confirmed the dates and the times. The only thing that I have said to them is I will announce it after we finished recording, just because I don't want any issues with his current employer. Of course, that wouldn't be very professional of us, or wouldn't. I can imagine what they'd be saying as well if said thing got out. So we'll wait and see. But it's a great name for us on the channel. So we're looking forward to that. We're going to be hitting some more shows as well. We're going to do an independent showcase, Trailblazer edition. A lot of young stars that I've met over the last week or two will be coming on the show. The recording first will be tomorrow. There's a couple of them on the show tomorrow. We're going to be having Ted Sabin. We're going to have AJ the Juice Payne. We're going to be having Isaac Blair. We're going to be having I've said AJ Payne, haven't I? God, we're going to Regan Blade, Jaden Williams, and a couple of other guys are going to come on as well. So they're doing great things over here in the UK. If you look on our shorts on our YouTube page, you'll be seeing a lot of those guys on there. So keep it locked on there. But for Gary Joe, follow the Honor the Elite, follow the FTR page on Facebook, follow, I know you're on Instagram as well. Follow it everywhere you go. Just follow that man. That content the guy's done is incredible. You want to say?
If you guys want to, I'm sorry, Adam. If you guys are a fan of rock music, head over to my Instagram and Facebook as well for the Pretty Wild fan page. It's really picking up a lot of steam. So,
Yes, go and do
all
that.
right.
Go and also go and follow David Bartholomew and Will Scott as well, and see their stuff. Or go on Spotify and go if we wrote the theme, they put some banger tracks out, some cover songs of some of your favorite wrestlers. Go and see that. And of course, my friend Tyson Keaton has got his theme done by them. He debuted that last week over a show over here in the UK. But as we wrap up, I was racking my brains, and I was like, North American champion. NXT champion, NXT women's champion, WWE women's champion, WWE champion, WWE undisputed champion. Not bad for a little pissant company in Florida. Hey, Paul Levesque. Stay elite, everybody.